Good morning, everybody. Welcome to class 7th. Last time we learned Gopal and Hilsa fish. We had learned that Gopal was given a challenge by king, as it was the season of Hilsa fish. Everybody was talking of Hilsa fish, and the king was fed up with this talk. So the king gave a challenge to Gopal to bring a huge Hilsa fish without anybody noticing it. We have learned that he did three things. He dressed up to buy a Hilsa fish. First of all, he shaved his face, half shaved his face and left half of the beard groomed. Then he applied ashes on his body. Then he put on torn clothes, rag. So his wife was very concerned and she was worried that how he is going out in such a funny manner. But he did not listen to her. He went to the market. Now let us see what happened. Before that, let us have a quick recap of the last session. Gopal half shaved his face. This is plain. He smeared himself with ash. He put on rags. These are the three things he did to get ready to buy a Hilsa fish. He went to the market to buy a Hilsa fish. People laughed at him and the guard did not allow him to enter the palace. When the guard did not allow him to enter the palace, he started singing and dancing loudly to draw the attention of the king that see, I am outside the palace. The guard knew him very well because daily he would have come to the palace, but due to his funny way of appearance, he did not recognize him and he did not allow him. Now let us go through the next part of the lesson. That is the last two pages of the lesson. You can see on the second last page of the lesson. This is the picture of king. He is inside the palace. Outside the palace, Gopal and the guard are talking. Inside the palace, he is listening to the loud noises of dance and music. The man is crazy. Must be the guard who is telling that the man is crazy or madman. Throw him out at once. Somebody is telling that we should throw him just now. I want to see the king. Let me in. Gopal is telling them. He is insisting that he wants to meet the king anyhow. Bring that man to me at once. The king listened to this the talk. Listened to this noise and he wanted to see the person who was eager to meet him. Yes, your majesty. The guard is ready to bring Gopal inside the palace. Now Gopal is inside the court. Courtiers are looking at him. Gopal was brought before the king. Now king is on the throne and the courtiers are standing there. Oh, it's Gopal. Somebody recognized him finally. Because he was dressed up in such a way that nobody was looking at his face very curiously. So nobody recognized him previously. But now somebody recognized that it is Gopal. So people are talking now. The man says, the man has lost his mind. It seems that he has lost his mental balance. He has gone mad. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. Another wise courtier says, no, I think it is one of the practical jokes that he plays. Many a times he plays some practical tricks. So this man knew that it was Gopal's trick. And now the last page of the story. King is talking to Gopal, as you can see in the picture. King says, all right Gopal, out with it. Now enough is enough. बहुत हो चुका. Why are you dressed up in the ridiculous fashion? Ridiculous means in a very funny way. Why have you dressed up yourself in such a funny manner? Your majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. महाराज आप कुछ भूल गए लग रहा है. That means king had forgotten because many days had passed after the challenge thrown by the king. Forgotten something? Now king is trying very hard to recall what he has forgotten. Now he takes out that huge Hilsa fish to look at for everybody. Now he is pointing out to the Hilsa fish and is saying, strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa fish today. From the market to the palace and from the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about it. Hilsa fish. Now the king may recall because Gopal is explaining that he has brought this Hilsa fish from market on the way till court. Nobody was talking about Hilsa fish because everybody was busy laughing at him. Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. Now the king remembered and he laughed out loud. It was a kind of joke played by Gopal once again. Ha ha ha. Well, Gopal, congratulations. You have achieved the impossible. Once again, means once more, you have achieved the task and you have fulfilled the challenge thrown by me. And now Gopal is happy and he would be awarded. So this is what we have learned in this part of the lesson. Again, I'll retell you what we have learnt in this session. Number one, after listening to the noise outside, Gopal was singing and dancing loudly. The guard was ready to push him away, threw him out. So the king listened to the noise and called him in. When the Gopal entered the court, somebody recognized him and said, "It's Gopal." And the king was really curious to know why Gopal had dressed up in such a funny way, why he had half shaved his face, why he had applied ash on his body, and why he was wearing torn clothes. Gopal said, "You have forgotten something, haven't you?" And now king was thinking hard because he could not remember that he had given the challenge to bring a fish. So Gopal showed them the huge hilsa fish in his hand and said, "See, I have this hilsa fish in my hand. I brought it from the market till my house, and nobody is talking about the fish, but everybody is talking about me." So if you have something in your hand, but it is the season of that thing, but you are more interesting than the thing, then who would look at the thing, right? So now he proved himself, he fulfilled his challenge, and the king was happy that he had fulfilled his challenge. Now a question for you. Why did Gopal fulfill his challenge after some days and not that day? This would be a PISA question for you. Again, why did Gopal fulfill the challenge after some days? This is a question for you to write down. So in today's class, we have completed our lesson 3, Gopal and the hilsa fish. Gopal is given a challenge to bring a huge hilsa fish without anyone noticing it or talking about it. For fulfilling this challenge, he did 3 things. Number 1, he half shaved his face. Number 2, he applied ashes on his body. Number 3, he put on torn clothes or ragged clothes. And then he went to buy hilsa fish. Everybody was talking about his behavior, his appearance. That was very funny. He brought the fish. He was not allowed to enter the court. And finally, when he entered the court, the king was happy to see that the challenge was fulfilled. So today we are going to learn this much. You are going to complete your textual exercise. Write down your textual exercise in your book. Thank you and have a nice day.